I don't think the porch pirates want my packages anymore, by user Freshavocados78. This is pretty basic revenge, but I think it's funny enough to share. Porch piracy has been horrible in my neighborhood lately. Basically, if you aren't home to immediately claim your package, it will be stolen. Nothing is really being done about it by the police despite there being a lot of proof from various home security cameras, so I took matters into my own hands. I don't have the time or skill to make one of those complex glitter bombs or anything, but I wanted to send a message to these people somehow. My solution? Fill a water bottle with pee, tightly pack it into the box so it won't move, and lightly tape the cap on instead of twisting it. That way as soon as the box is opened, the cap comes off and piss spills everywhere. It's stupid but effective, and what are the thieves gonna do about it? Tell the police they stole a package that had pee in it. I started doing this earlier this week and after the first two got stolen, I'm now able to leave one of these traps front and center on the porch all day without it being stolen. My neighbor bangs on the floor, by user gamergirlBarbieX. I have one of those upstairs neighbors that bangs on the floor every time she thinks you're being too loud, and leaves notes on your fence shaming you to the street. But regardless of the strict rules of conduct she wants you to adhere to, she herself stomp paces around her apartment and plays loud music at 6:30 a.m. while she showers. She's great fun. I live laugh love here under her reign every day. The other day we had our first day of spring. It was so beautiful and warm outside with a breeze that came right into the house. I went outside and realized naughty neighbor had her balcony doors open too. So I decided immediately it was time for a little DIY. I whipped out the spray paint, shut my doors with my doggy inside and began the process of repainting the legs of my outdoor chairs. Every time my neighbor closed her doors I'd take a break, and as soon as she reopened them I was out there putting on another coat and letting the fumes be swept inside her house by that glorious spring breeze. I could hear her slamming the door a little more each time and it was such sweet music to my ears. I made sure the entire painting process took all day so she couldn't enjoy the sunshine the entire day. It was such a great success I might take up revamping furniture as a new hobby. Karen looking for parking space blocks me from getting to my vehicle, by user Carlo1. First time posting, and I'm on mobile. So here's my story. I, 53F, am a disabled vet, and use a variety of mobility aids to get around. I also get almost all my healthcare and meds from the local VA hospital. This last Monday, I realized that I was out of some meds and hadn't received the refills yet, so I ran to the VA hospital pharmacy to get enough to tie me over. Since my local VA hospital is absolutely huge, I always use my mobility scooter, because there's absolutely no way I can physically navigate the parking lot, as well as the labyrinth that the inside consists of. After I completed my transactions and checked in with a couple of my health providers, I scooted myself out the doors with the intention of loading up my scooter in my vehicle, and get the heck out of Dodge. Now with this being a Monday, everyone and their dog is trying to find parking to get into the building, so there are cars driving around looking for opening spots to park. As I'm heading past vehicles, one pulls slightly in front of me to block my ability to continue to move forward, and this Karen rolls down her window and yells at me for trying to cut in line. She was there first, yada yada. Guy in the car next to me is just staring at her with this absolute WTF expression, about to get out of his vehicle to help me confront Karen. I shake my head and back my scooter up to go a different way to get to my vehicle. She passes me as I reach my truck, and realizes that I'm loading up the scooter so I can leave. Well, she decides she's going to take my spot. Not today, Karen. I nod at the guy who wanted to help me, hop in my truck, and back out of the parking space in a way that blocks Karen, and gives easy access to the other guy. I did make sure to use all 5 fingers when I smiled and waved at her as I drove away. Girl would steal my lunch in HS, so I messed with my food, by user what's this daddy. This happened 6 years ago in HS. This girl, who was autistic, this is important to the story, would steal food out of my lunchbox and other students' lunch boxes as well. I would be left with nothing to eat around lunch. I complained to my teacher about it and she didn't do anything. This girl's mom would come every day after school to have a report on her daughter, and I mentioned it to her mom. Her mom brushed it off saying she doesn't know better, just pack more food. This pissed me off and a few of my other classmates off that was in the classroom still. We all decided to fuck with our food to make her stop, because clearly telling her to stop, telling her mom to fix it, and the teacher not doing anything about it didn't help. Also, the classroom we were in had lockers but no locks, so anyone could just grab shit from them. So me and a few of my other classmates put hot sauce, mayonnaise, and other shit in our food. Since she also drank my drink out of my lunch, I decided I was going to put a crap ton of salt and a small bit of hot sauce in my Gatorade. Lunch came and sure enough she was crying to my teacher. She had drank my Gatorade on top of my sandwich and my friend's KFC biscuits. Her mom was called and I was accused of bullying. Mind you, I have told her nicely so many times to stop eating my food when she had her own damn lunch. Her mom took her out of our school and moved to a different school. Also, I asked if I could put my lunch box in the office, but since they locked the office up before lunch I wouldn't be able to get it and I wouldn't be able to leave class early, so this wasn't like I did it right away. It's been happened for weeks and I was just fed up. Edit. Since she was autistic, her mom didn't hold her accountable for anything along with my teacher and she knew that. Edit 2. Please do not use this post to be ableist in any way. Her mom failed her and she should have known better not to do what she did, but that doesn't give anyone the right to call her the R word or to insult her. This girl was a sweet girl, but she just ate my food and I'd be left hungry most of the week. I tried to be nice many times to her. When it didn't work I told my teacher, when that didn't work I told her mom, and when that didn't work I told my principal. This went on for almost 2 months. Lunch was my main source of food throughout the day due to my dad working third shift and my mom relying on leftovers. My brain doesn't allow me to eat leftovers no matter how old it is because I think it's moldy. I had lost a lot of weight due to her stealing me food and I know not to blame her for that because I should have just sucked it up and ate leftovers, but I just can't without being extremely paranoid with every bite I take. 6 years later I'm still like this, and it's even worse now considering I've recently ate something that was left over and it was in fact moldy after I had asked 2 other people if it was and they said it was fine. Food is something I've always struggled with, so even if I had some of my lunch left I felt paranoid that she touched it and bacteria from her hands was already growing on it. TLDR, a girl kept stealing my lunch and adults weren't doing anything about it, so I put salt and hot sauce in my Gatorade and put salt in my peanut and jelly wrap. It's a tumor, by user Blondimum. Is what hubby would always say when I was prego. It was a cute inside joke between the two of us. Jumped to me a week overdue, very large, very miserable, and very much over people, who knew me and knew better, asking if was having twins. I ran into an old friend in the grocery store. As we stood chatting, a random woman, I didn't know, started rubbing my stomach asking when I was due. I dead-ass looked her in the eye and said, I'm not pregnant, I have a very large tumor and they are finally able to remove it next week. She was shocked and mortified. She stammered out an apology and quickly walked away. My friend thought it was hilarious and hopefully that woman learned something about touching strangers without asking.